inwards. It's obviously important that you know, external perspective is the same for us, but that we already have some fairly deep-rooted values. The business is traded on the basis of fair, ethical trading and responsible business in all respects. So we believe that actually the translation of that into sustainable development wasn't that difficult for us in terms of the communication of what we're doing in response to this. So the core values of the business is important to us. The fact that we do have this conviction at the main board level is important to us to get that leadership through the business. But ultimately, it's about doing it on the ground. It's making it mainstream business for us. So we structured our approach around 4 themes around the people, and that includes communities at large, as well as our staff and our clients and our supply base, climate and energy, resources, and this sort of overarching responsible business, which picks up how do we communicate, how do we report, how do we make sure that we are evidencing that effectively we're doing what we say we're doing. So responsible business is a key area for us within the rethinking team to continue to test and challenge and make sure that actually we're not just putting out some nice fluffy words. Regulation. So one of the things that we are doing to satisfy that first bit of the slide about why would we do any of this, well, it is about making sure that we're competitive, making sure that our reputation is maintained, making sure that we've effectively protected our business and future-proofed our business as far as we can. So it's about trying to be slightly ahead of the curve in terms of impending policy, regulation, or consumer pressure, if you like. So that's an indication of us dealing with a specific issue, but within a whole procurement policy. Over the last 5 or 6 years in particular, we've put a huge amount of emphasis on managing and trying to reduce waste. Basically, the starting point was waste to landfill. A big push within the sector around halving waste to landfill, the national programme. For us, that was a no-brainer. Reducing the amount of waste going to landfill and the landfill tax escalation and all the costs that go with it, you know, it doesn't matter whether these numbers are right really, the scale of the numbers are right enough to make our business recognise that it's worth putting a lot of effort, and it has taken a lot of effort, to get all of our projects to take stock of what they're doing in terms of waste management and to manage that effectively. But the value at stake for us made everybody take that on board and really push that forward. And the outcome of that is that since 2007, when we were effectively sending or diverting 60% from landfill of all the waste that was going off site, we're now, 2011, 96%. And importantly, our target, and we've been kind of wrestling a little bit with the fact that when we set that target, we set a zero waste to landfill target when we set off on this journey in 2007. We didn't really know how close we would get to it, or whether we would get close to it, or indeed how might we get close to it. Now that we're there and we're not quite there, people say, well, why did we set a 100% target? Well, if we hadn't done, we wouldn't be at 96% now. And importantly, what we know is what makes up the other 4% now. Because of the way that we approach this, we now understand what is in that other 4%. So we can now target our approach and say, well, where is the next easy fix there that we can deal with that actually is commercially viable for us? Because if it isn't commercially viable, if we've got to spend a fortune to deal with 0.5% of that 4%, let's not worry about that. Let's deal with something else that gives us a better impact. Climate. We've developed a carbon management plan. Again, it's at group level. We've pleasingly achieved the Carbon Trust standard this year. We committed again 5 years ago to be carbon neutral by 2012, and we will be. We had to go through the whole debate about offsetting and is it good, is it bad. We have committed to that on the basis of getting carbon neutrality, and we have linked that to our social agenda insofar as our community initiatives. So we have actually looked at the credits that we're buying in terms of the social standards that comes with it. So we have, even there, tried to link it back so that it's supporting some of the other aspects of our wider business agenda. And importantly, we're still driving 15% reduction in carbon. We've had to put quite a lot of emphasis and effort in defining that to make sure, again, we can report with clear across the business what that looks like. I'm not going to dwell on that, but everybody's familiar with the sort of scope 1, 2, 3 approach. And clearly we're looking to extend the scope progressively. And again, the numbers of what's driving that. The carbon reduction, energy efficiency, whichever turns your boat, from our business is paramount. If we can illustrate the potential efficiency savings in our business from the measures that we're trying to put in place, and this is kind of, again, on a scale, it doesn't matter whether it's on the margins of 10 to 20% now, it's still significant enough to worry about. We're not doing this alone, and a mission, I haven't put Sustain Wordwide out there, but there's loads of organisations that have supported us in this. We're very heavily involved in the three that are up there in looking at how the landscape changes, because there's no point us trying to do this alone, because scale means economy, and effectively we can put pressure on policy, and such. It means that the platform raises, the bar raises, and we're not trying to push and become uncompetitive in the marketplace. So we want to stay ahead of the market, but we don't want to be out there on our own, because if we're uncompetitive, then we're unsustainable. And as I'm responsible for it, quite scary ambition at times when you look at the numbers. But it's there to be achieved. It's actually a marketplace that's actually, in its infancy in terms of the non-domestic in particular, and I was pleased to hear some of the comments earlier outside the session in terms of what Legal and General are seeing as a shift in investors' attitude to the assets and asset value. But essentially the marketplace for us and the opportunity to diversify and bring new business into the organisation is the exciting bit. Is the bit that everybody at the main board level sits up and listens to. And that's where, by doing all the other things and by thinking about all the other stuff first, we're able to also get credibility to some of that and also understand a bit more about what it is that we're doing. So, we use that quite a lot. Obviously, new thinking, there's no point in thinking about things in the same old-fashioned way. We've got to recognise there is a global picture, but we've still got to drill down into the detailed solutions. Timber is a very distinct, specific part, but it sits within the procurement policy, it sits within our overall agenda of sustainable development, which sits in our recognition of what it means from a broader sense. Our sort of strapline that we use is everybody plays a part, because we do recognise that we can't do this alone, and the examples that Andy used about collaboration is where we're seeing, particularly in the energy sector, is absolutely what's happening now. Collaboration between organisations that wouldn't ever have considered being in collaboration before is not only emerging but starting to really make some strong traction. Answering the question about sort of validity, verification, we do report openly, and it's important, and our reports and our website provides that information. We're always happy to be interrogated on the data. Essentially, there has to be an element of trust in anybody's communication of what they're doing. But we do believe that if as with Lance Armstrong, if it isn't genuine, ultimately sometime in the future it'll fall over. And that's not what we're intending. Our business is about longevity. So our intent will be true to ourselves. Otherwise, sometime soon, you'll probably find that you fall over. So, thank you very much. I don't know how much time